Hello everyone, it's time for another Tuesday stream, this time with more Magnolia support, and of course we're going to cover Dogovan 2 with the card of the days. So let's begin. So first off with Dogovan, we started with Glorious Storm Dragon, which is grade 2 with taking power, and the skill is Act Rearguard. Once per turn, if you perform a Persona right this turn, cost counterblast 1, your opponent puts all rearguards in the same column as this unit to the bottom of their deck in any order. And then this card gets us 5k power until the end turn. This works pretty decently with Dagria because it's a Persona right deck, but on that it is pretty generic that you could pretty much run this in any Gator Sanctuary deck that you wish. It is a bit slow though, but Dagria is probably the best option for it. Next, Fallen of the Dragon Tree Shoulder Club. Grade 1, keep and skills. Auto, when placed on rearguard, cost counterblast 1. Choose one rearguard circle without a Dragon Tree marker on it, and put Dragon Tree marker on it. Considering that we got two cards that says without Dragon Tree marker, I'm pretty sure the deck is going to revolve around needing Dragon Tree markers in all your rearguard circles. But anyway, to the second skill, Auto back row rearguard circle. Once per turn, when your rearguard appears in the front row in the same column as this unit, cost counterblast 1, draw a card. Nothing super special, it's just the Dragon Tree marker that we care about at the moment. Still need more to understand it. Next, Knight of Fae Cordelia. Grade 1, 8 power and skills. Count, center back row rearguard. If your Vanguard is Majesty Lord, this card gets all this following ability. Auto rearguard at the end of battle that this unit boosts, cost counterblast 1. Choose one Blaster Blade and Dark from your soul and call them to different rearguard in the same column. That is pretty good because Majesty Lords just get sucked them at soul, and in the battle you can put them back out of soul. The only thing is you do lose Majesty Lord's continuous 15k power unless you have another copy of each of them in soul. But that is overall pretty good because that's another attack right there, especially for the second skill where count rearguard. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, give all grade 2 rearguards boosts, which of course this deck is going to have quite a bit of, especially from the first skill where Blade or Dark will be the ones boosting. Next, Fierce Knight Kriduna. Grade 2, taking power and skills. Count rearguard. When this unit would be retired by your Blaster Vanguard, it is treated as 2 retires. Well, we got a replacement for Brunner if this ever comes out because it's still a promo, especially for the second skill. Auto, when retired by your Vanguard's Blaster, choose one of your Blaster Darks on rearguard, aka from Phantom Blaster Overlord, and it gets this ability. Auto rearguard once per turn. When this card attacks, cost this card a card from your hand. This card can perform drive checks during that battle. At the end of the battle, retire this unit. So the idea with Phantom Blaster Overlord is that you retire this, call back the Blaster Dark, plus 10k, use Blaster Dark's skill. This is so it has twin drive but it doesn't get drive checks. This card makes it be able to get the drive checks, so it can twin drive during the turn. Sure, you get an over trigger, it will suck because you do kind of waste it, but other than that, this is just really good with the Blaster Dark. In a practical sense, you're getting 2 Vanguard attacks. And now to some card of days. First off, we got one decent common, and it's basically my opinion, and it's very generic because its skill actually have premium application. This card being Relevant / Dragon. It's a grade 3 with 13 power, and the skills auto when placed on rearguard from hand, cost Soul Blast 1. Choose one grade 2 or greater card from your drop zone and put it to the top card of your deck. For Bastion, this is pretty decent because you're stacking your grade 3s, and it could even be the regular Bastion or Bastion Prime. But when I say premium applications, it didn't specify grade 3 normal units, meaning Heal Guardians can be stacked. That can be insane. That basically refunds your G Guardians as well. So yeah, for Gator Sanctuary or United Sanctuary decks, this can actually be nasty. Next, for Dark States double rare, Ozzer Freeze Flame Friend Yadio. Grade 2, tank power and skills. Auto rearguard. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if your Vanguard is Boral Magnus, cost put another rearguard to soul. Choose one of your opponent's rearguards and put it to soul. If your opponent cannot put a card to their soul, this unit gets plus 10k power until the end of that battle. One nice thing about this card is that there's no soul restriction, and since this is for Boral Magnus, well, you got rearguard removal right there for one. The second thing is that since Boral Magnus is going to suck up everything in soul when it has 15 and bring 2 back, this card can be a big beater. Overall, pretty decent for Boral Magnus. And now for the Tuesday stream, 2 Magnolia cards. The first card being Sylvan Horn Beast Winsapu. Grade 3 during power and skills. Count, deck, hand. If you're a grade 2 or greater Vanguard with Sylvan Horn Beast in its name, this card gets grade -1. This does help because Sylvan Horn Beast is known to be calling grade 2s or less more so than anything, so it's there if you need it. But the second skill where it's count rearguard. If your Vanguard is Magnolia and it was placed during this turn, this card gets plus 10k power. Sure, it's only 3k beater, but it relies on you placing a Magnolia Vanguard. Magnolia Elder, or you could do Persona riding it, it's up to you. Next, Sylvan Horn Beast, God Gold. Grade 2, tank power and skills. Auto drop zone when your Magnolia Vanguard is placed during your ride phase. If your soul does not have a copy of itself, put this to soul and then choose one of your Vanguards, gets plus 5k power until end turn. That pretty much helps because Magnolia itself doesn't really get power on its own, so that extra power is nice. And Magnolia could just Soul Blast this out, so you could just put it back to Soul. Not much of an issue. And speaking of Soul Blasting it out, you could just recall it, because for the second skill, we're Auto Back Row Rearguard. When this card attacks, this card gets with 10k power until the end of that battle. At the end of that battle, if this card is in the center column, retire this unit, draw a card. So basically, you can put this as a 20k beater, and then you can kill it again, just to put it back to Soul, call it again. Yeah, not too bad right there. So that's it for these reveals. What do you guys think about the new Magnolia support? Just generic stuff, nothing too special, just more stuff to play. I am hoping for a new Magnolia Grade 3 though, just because we got Bruce, so it would just make sense that we got Magnolia as well for Nissan and Basagra as well, I hope. But other than that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.